Anyone have any further questions from any of?
Can you tell us what type of weapon? You said it was a knife. What kind of weapon, actual knife it was? And also, did you say that he got away with the gun in the burglary or attempted to steal a gun?
It was a nail gun.
Nail gun.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just a nailer.
He took it, the nail gun?
Yes.
Is that Myers' home address? Do the people live there? Are they related in any way to the 93-year-old victim?
No, sir.
Okay. What about the knife that was used?
For the prosecutor, that's the evidence that we
Yeah,
have.
we'll just say at this point that it was a pocket knife that was used, a Gerber pocket knife. Obviously, the investigation's ongoing. We don't want to comment specifically on particular evidence so as not to jeopardize the future prosecution of the suspect, but we're confident that we have the right man in custody.
Why not attempted murder, prosecutor?
Well, at this point, we're just referring charges to get him arrested and jailed pending a preliminary hearing. There could be additional charges presented to the grand jury, but at this point, he's being charged with felonious assault, 2 counts for serious physical harm and assault with a deadly weapon. So that will get him to the preliminary hearing, which has to take place, as you know, within 10 days of arrest. And then at that point, he'll be bound over to the grand jury for consideration of charges.
It's my understanding Dylan didn't take anything from the Bates Road house. What was his motivation?
Again, without commenting on the specifics of the investigation, at this point, we don't have a motivation other than a senseless act of violence.
And this burglary was prior to the attack on the 93-year-old woman, and then the harassment came afterwards, all in the same day?
I'll let the sheriff comment on the chronology as they understand it.
The information we have from the suspect, he had the incident with the elderly lady, and then after he left her residence, he did the burglary, and then went into Ashland County and had the incident with the Amish ladies, and then crashed his vehicle, in which the Highway Patrol ultimately came into play at that point with that investigation.
It seemed like he was reserved on some sort of rampage.
Was he?
I mean, based on his behavior.
Yeah, I can't comment really on what his behavior was. I wasn't there at the scene, so.
I mean, he didn't take anything from this woman's house. This woman had to have some of her internal organs removed as a result. She's barely conscious at this point. Her family members aren't quite sure she's going to make it. There's no explaining this.
That is true. There is no explanation for this kind of violence, and we would ask that you keep this woman in your thoughts and prayers because she has undergone some serious injuries and follow-up surgery. So I would just ask the public to keep her in your prayers and her family.
Was she able to fight him off in any way, and was her description of the vehicle crucial in helping to catch the suspect?
Sheriff, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, the only description she had was a white male and a red vehicle. She couldn't tell exactly what it was. And at this point, it appears that, you know, at her age being 93, she was unable to really defend herself.
Was he on drugs, you think, at the time?
I have no idea. The lieutenant from the Ashland Post of the Highway Patrol, they investigated the crash, and they have charges against him also for related offenses. So you can answer any questions that you have for the lieutenant. You can direct them to him.
Was he able to obtain a confession from Dylan?
Sir, coming behind the microphone, please. Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, we'll say that we enjoy a great working relationship with all the law enforcement in the county, and this is a perfect example of us working together, the things that we do working together. My officer had contact with the suspect in a traffic crash, and during the investigation of the crash, he found him to be under influence of, at that time, alcohol, and he was subsequently arrested for the charge of operating the vehicle or being involved in the crash while being under the influence of alcohol.
How long after the attack on the 93-year-old lady was that?
This was at 16:45 is when we were dispatched to the crash. So 4:45.
So you assume he was drunk at the time of the attack, too?
Correct.
45 minutes later.
45 minutes later.
any other tests done to determine if he was on any other drugs?
Not
heroin or
at
whatever?
that, not at the time or when he was doing the investigation. The officer noticed that he was under influence of alcohol and took the steps for that. And then as things began to develop more, I don't know, but at this time it's just for driving under influence of alcohol.
I've been out there and I've had a chance to speak with the family and community members. They are really shaken by this. What can you tell them with regard to words of comfort?
Well, naturally, it is a event that's going to bring a lot of concern to the community, especially in that I was up at the hospital within the last couple hours and met with the family and to see if they needed any assistance further with us, and also putting them in contact with the Attorney General's office for the victims of crime. So they're naturally disturbed about it, and as well as we are. And the same position that we always have is, if you notice any suspicious activity in your neighborhoods, please make sure that you contact us as soon as possible and relay all the information to your neighbors. You know, your best security system you have are good neighbors, being aware of what's going on in your surroundings.
Do you guys have any photos of the red Jeep that crashed?
I don't have any myself personally, no.
There's a 911 call that's not available, or can it be played in another room? Or
Tomorrow, we can have that information for you.
did she make the call herself?
Yes, she made it to family members. Family members then contacted us.
So when you heard the 911 call, was family members talking to her?
I mean,
When you heard the 911 call, was it her speaking or was it the family members?
no, it was a family member.
Okay. You contacted the family first.
Correct.
The family called.
Yes, sir. Do you have anything for the lieutenant from Ashland County?
When's his next court date?
He'll probably be video arraigned on the charges in Wayne County, assuming he's here in our jail tomorrow morning.
In what county?
If he's in our jail here, he'll be video arraigned on our charges tomorrow morning in Wayne County.
You don't know what time though?
Video arraignments are at 8:15 a.m.
Okay, concludes all I have for you. Thank you very much for coming.